Hey guys, welcome back. In this video I want to show you how to start working with the design of the details view. So let's begin. Previously we talked about the index page and this is the result. In addition, we have some other buttons including the edit, the details and the delete. The first step is the details. The details is the information or dedicated information about each record. So I have the number 1 up to number 8. Suppose I want to get inside the data of the number 5. So I'm gonna come over here and click on the details. As you see, I have another web page and it is inside the student controller, then the details, action, and finally the ID 5. So I have the details, then the student, and the first name is this up to the end. Indeed, the presentation of the data is vertical in this method. And we have only the data for the ID 5 or other selected ID. So if I take a look in the number 1, for instance, the details, in this window I have only the details about the number 1 or the ID 1 from the Alex up to the end. So let's start working with the design of the details. To do that, if I take a look at the top, I have the website, then the students controller and the details and the ID. Now let's come over here and close this. And after that, get inside the project and the students controller. So this is the students controller, and previously we talked about the index and how to work with it. In addition, I have the details action. So the details action is responsible to load the data in the details view. Later I'll talk about all of this step by step. So if I take a look inside the students of my views, so the students is inside the views, and after that I have the details. So the details is the view of my students. So come over here and at the top I have some model to load the data from it, and it is the SQL EF models student. Indeed, this project name, then the models, then the student. Then I have the view data to assign the details as the title, and also I have the layout. First we talked about this layout and it is exactly over here inside the views, the share and the layout. In my previous tutorial I talked about all of this. So if I take a look in the details, also I have the heading 1 and this is the heading 1. Then I have the div, the heading for the student and the horizontal line. So let's run the application and take a deeper look. So come over here. This time I wanna run the application without debugging because I wanna enable the hot reload. So if I take a look over here, and this is the hot reload on file save, don't hesitate to check this checkbox. Now come to this one, and as you see I have the index, get inside the details, for instance number 1 or the ID 1, and I have the details. Also I can put it at the top like this, and great. So let's resize this one and move it up to here, for instance. Now I have the student. You can see the student here, and this is the details, the heading 1 and the first name, the last name, the age. All of these are generated automatically. And also you can right click on this and get inside the inspect element and check all of this one by one. This is the heading 1, you can see it over here. Then if I take a look inside it, I have the student, the heading 4. And after all of this, I have the next part. And if I take a look, it is the DL or description list. So I have the DL over here, and it is considered as the row in the bootstrap. Then I have the DT, then the DD. What is the DD and the DT? Indeed, the DL is description list, and DT stands for description title or description term or description name. Then I have the DD or description or description definition. And it's really simple. So come over here and come to this one. As you see, if I take a look and close this, as you see, I have something as the title here, then the description about this title. Or if I take a look, right click and inspect. So the total one is the DL and description list. This is the description list. You can see it over here. If I take a look, this one. And inside it, I have the DT, The DT stands for description term. Then I have the next one, the DD, and the DD stands for description definition. So the title and the definition, the title and the definition. You can see all of this one by one. Now let's talk more about the DL. If I get inside the Google and search the DL tag in the HTML, then select the w3schools.com. The w3schools.com is really great reference to learn more about the HTML, CSS and something like that. And get inside the DL. So I have the DL over here, and as you see I have the DL at the top, then the DT or the title of the description, then the description itself. Now if I click on this and get inside the result over here, so the result is something like this. This is the DT or title of my description and the definition of the description or DD, exactly like this. The DT, the DD, the DT, the DD, and it 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And also we have similar to this in our website. So you can see the DL itself over here. This is the DL. If I scroll up, great. So this is the DL itself, and it is something like the table, but the DT is the header or the title. Then I have the DD as the description, DT and DD. This was the quick tour about the DL or description list. But in addition, I have used the Bootstrap for styling or to add the style to this. As you see, I have the column SM2. It means 2 parts of the entire row belongs to this one. If you consider the total row as 12 parts. For better understanding, let's take a snapshot, and this is the snapshot. Great. So if I take a look at this example, each row or record from here up to here has up to 12 parts. Up to here is 2 parts, 1, 2, and from here up to here, and it's from here up to here. This is 10 parts, and here is 2 parts, and the total parts is indeed 12. So we have 2 over here, as you see. It means 2 parts of the 12, or 2 of 12, and the 10 is 10 from 12. And we have the similar to the next record, and it is the next one, the last name. You can see the last name over here, then the mayor, up to the end. You know what, currently I assume that you are familiar with the Bootstrap, and if you don't know anything about the Bootstrap, don't hesitate to watch the quick review of the Bootstrap. It's really great and practical. So let's go over here and continue our journey. In addition, we have the HTML, then the display name for the DT or the title, and also the HTML display for the DD or the definition itself. Previously in depth we talked about the display name for and also the display for. So if you don't know anything about this, don't hesitate to watch my previous tutorial. But as the quick review, if you want to show or get the display name from the student class or from the student model, and indeed this one, the display name or the custom name that we want to assign to any column that we want. Then if you want to get this display name or the default one, don't hesitate to use the display name for what? For this one. Indeed, this is the model or the parameter, and all of this is the lambda expression. For this model as the parameter, return the first name inside the model. So the first name itself or the custom name. Indeed, the custom name is this and the name is this. If we have the custom name, return the custom name. And if we haven't, return the column name itself. Currently, I have the custom name for the last name and also for the first name. So this will be returned automatically after calling the display name for what? For the first name. Then I have the next one, and it is the DD or definition of my description. So I have the display for, as I mentioned, if you want to get the format of the data or if you want to get the formatted data, then don't hesitate to use the display for. And if I take a look inside the student.cs or my model, and if I scroll down, I have the display format. And display format is for my date time column for the rect date. So if you want to load the data with this format, don't hesitate to use the display for. Display for means load the data with the custom format that is defined in the student CS and over here, the display format. Currently, I have used the display format only for the rect date, and I want to have only the date information, not the time. So I have used this date format. And also we need to repeat these steps for the remaining. So the first one is DT and DD, and the next one is DT and DD for the last name, and the next one is age up to here. The next one is the rect date, and finally I have the grade over here, and everything is done. And in the bottom I have the ASP action. I have the two other links. If I take a look over here and close this one, I have two links, the edit and the back to list. So if I hover on the edit, you can see the link over here, or you can come over here, inspect, and select the edit easily and quickly like this. So I have this link, the student edit number 1 to edit this record. And also I have the back to list, and it is indeed the index page or address to the index page, only the slash. So it's really simple and it's straightforward. Okay, excellent. I enjoyed a lot. Now we learned many great tips and tricks about the design of the details view. And if I take another deeper look, I have the ASP action. Previously we talked about this matter, and it is indeed the tag helpers. If you want to work with this, you need to get inside the view imports and use the add tag helper for the ASP.NET Core. Previously we talked about this matter in depth. And also I have the ASP route ID and the ID that I want to get inside the edit action or edit view. And it is the model and the ID. I have used the question mark over here. It means it can be null or the ID, the number or null. So this question mark here means nullable ID. So it can be the ID or the null. And for the action over here, I have used the edit. Later I'll talk about this one, and you can see the edit over here. And also I have used the back to list, and its action is index. You can see the index over here. Previously I talked about it completely. Okay, I enjoyed a lot. Now we learned many great tips and tricks about the design of the details view. So what about the next step? In the next step, I'll show you how to take a deeper look inside the details action of your controller. Some consuming, so stay with me. Thanks for your time.